Welcome back to Open Your Eyes, and we're moving now into our third and final segment for the morning. Now, this one is right next to us, actually, as the Belize Cancer Society opens a new cancer center right here in Belize City, and this inauguration happens tomorrow. In to tell us all about it, we have Laura Tucker Longsworth. She's the president of the Belize Cancer Society. Also in with us is Maria Elena Silvestre. She is actually a donor. And on Zoom, we've got Nurse Delone Pascasio, who is the CEO for the Dangriga Cancer Society. Ladies, good morning and welcome.
Good morning.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's nice to have you in, and let's get right into it. This is big news.
Yes.
Ms. Longsworth, tell us all about this big news, because trust me, this one will be running the country like storm.
I hope so.
Yes, it will. So tell us about it.
Especially if the money rolls with it, that'll be good.
Yes, absolutely. Good one, yeah.
So tell us about it. This
Yes,
is a
well,
great
first
feat,
of all,
I'm sure.
it's wonderful to be here, and I'm very pleased that we're piggybacking on your celebration here as well. Your 30 years of celebration. And
Congratulations.
So you're part
Thank you,
of that,
thank you.
for sure.
Great
Thank
job.
You all have always been our support, and thank you, neighbor. Thank you, neighbor, for helping us with our media campaigns, being there always to support us. Tomorrow we finally launch the Belize Cancer Center, Belize. You may know of Delone, and she will speak about that. The center is actually Belize Cancer Center Dangriga. The Belize Cancer Center Belize is also the Dangriga Clinic. And they have this amazing repertoire of work that they have done over the years in terms of supporting those persons with infusion chemotherapy. The Belize Cancer Society, I'd like to say we have arrived. Because we have, over the years, the vision of the founder, Juliet Sobranis, was one of giving support to those who can't find it. And so over the years, the society has evolved. We have moved into not only education and preventative measures, and we have championed non-communicable diseases in all its forms, whether it has to do with nutrition, obesity control, sugar-sweetened drinks, alcohol reduction. We have championed all those things. We found ourselves being navigators of patients to treatment. And so we have been working with Dr. Grant, Nurse Delone Pascasio, and over the years to move patients all over to their center, as well as to external centers or to the government hospitals.
Yes.
Then along came Mrs. Maria Sylvester, Commonwealth Trading, who said, listen, we'd love to put in an infusion suite in Belize that will support the people of Belize. And the rest is history. That's why we're here today.
Beautiful.
And, you know, I appreciate the entire backdrop because it helps to differentiate the different players here. Firstly, the Cancer Society that works in support and awareness in so many ways. The Cancer Center in Dangriga, which we've visited so many times, offering treatment to people within the country, and now having a treatment option available in Belize City where people won't have to travel. Even if it's within Belize, they won't have to travel and put themselves at risk. That's a big deal. Yeah. Is that a part of why you wanted to establish this in Belize City?
Well, first of all, when Laura said Commonwealth Trading, actually the donors is Global Reach Health.
Yes.
Global Reach Health is owned by my family, by my son-in-law, my daughter, and their partner, who is also like a son to me. And the work that they do is to provide globally treatment for catastrophic illnesses, mainly through whether it's the insurance companies or like in the Venezuela module, it was the government of Venezuela that they work to provide these oncology, hepatitis C, MS, medications for catastrophic illnesses. Now, Global Reach set up a foundation called Global Reach Foundation, where they provide projects to help different countries where they are present in, as far as providing the medications. And this is in keeping because they are a very caring, Christian-based company. And when they saw the dynamics that was Belize, and they asked me to be a part of that cog in the wheel. So what we do here in Commonwealth Trading is that we provide the medications for the catastrophic illnesses to patients in the region, Caribbean, Central America, South America.
Okay.
When Wayne, Sergio, and Marlena realized the work that Delone was doing in Dangriga and how patients had to travel by bus, by plane,
Yeah.
you know, families would sacrifice to take them.
Yeah.
They said, why not one here in Belize?
Yeah.
The first option that I looked at, and Laura can attest to that, we tried to give it to the government, to the Carl Huchner. And we waited an entire year, this was in 2017, to get their response if they wanted an infusion suite at the Carl Huchner. So one day, well, Laura and I have been together for a long time. We served on KHMH for 6 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I said, Laura, what about an infusion suite for the BCS? And her excitement and enthusiasm, and we took it from there because Delone and Dr. Grant came in, we got together, and Dr. Grant was just blown away. He wanted that to happen.
Yeah.
And it's taken 3 years because COVID happened in between.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes.
But finally, it is done.
It is
And
here, it's done.
it is a beautiful achievement, really, on all counts, because we've had local donors. We had Mrs. Hutchandani that donated the floor.
Wow.
And we had
Beautiful.
some of my closest friends that at the last, when we needed $10,000 to just do the final,
Yeah. Final
Yeah.
I had
pictures.
lunch with them and I said, look, can we raise 10,000 amongst us?
Yeah.
And 4 of them came together and
Bam.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
got it.
voila, the 10,000 was there.
This is beautiful news.
So
Great news.
it was just a beautiful
Collaboration. Really.
collaboration.
So they always say that together we can do this. Together we can. And I'd like to get now to Nurse Delone Pascasio, who's the CEO of the Cancer Society Dangriga.
Cancer Center.
Cancer Center, sorry. Nurse Delone, talk to us about the feel at this particular point. How are you feeling knowing that together it's actually working?
I'm feeling a sense of team accomplishment. And I think that the majority of the credit for the operational side, the physical building preparation, has to go to my dear friend Heather Reno.
Yes.
She
Yes,
is
the mover and
absolutely
the shaker.
project manager with the mostest. And if I could duplicate her 100 times, I probably would have a whole bunch of her.
That's right.
But I tell you, after joining Maria and Laura and our private sector partners, and then gaining the support of the Ministry of Health and our friends around the country, this really is an accumulation and an accomplishment more for our patients, because it was their idea. We did a customer service survey about 3 years ago, and the majority of the comments were, we wish it was closer. The challenge was with transportation, particularly during inclement weather.
Yeah.
And so it was very timely to start the discussion. And both Maria and Laura, when we had a preliminary exploratory meeting, we thought, wow, this is a great thing. Dr. Grant was all in it. And, over the last 3 years, we have with funding from our friends and sponsors, particularly the Commonwealth Trading and Global Reach, we reached this day. And it's a wonderful day because this is a milestone that we hoped we could reach. This is a gift to our cancer patients, to the people of Belize, and to their families. So I'll tell you, we are feeling pretty good today.
Yep.
And you know, it's really important that we understand, or we have all our viewers understand, that the Cancer Center in Dangriga has been treating Belizeans from across the country. I met people from Orange Walk and Corozal who traveled down to Dangriga to be able to access the treatment. Is this a part of being able to decentralize all this travel that has to take place for patients?
You're absolutely right. This is really a response to a need to ease the burden of transportation and actually improve access, particularly for those individuals who are remote to us. And so for our colleagues from the north and from the west, hopefully, they will find this a lot easier for travel. And I hope it'll be very beneficial for anyone who is having those kinds of challenging transportation difficulties.
So
That's true, because, and then I think what we should say also is that the volume of patients that the Belize Cancer Center Dangriga has supported and treated over the years is overwhelming. And I think, you know, it's the space is what it is. And so it is wonderful for us to have another space to kind of relieve that burden.
And I wanted to go to some of the services that would be offered from the center.
So the service area is the loan. So let her take that.
That's what I was going to ask before we go there, though. Because the nuts and bolts to this. There's the physical space, setting up a safe space for the treatment to be administered. I saw the differentiation between staff bathroom, patient bathroom. It's a delicate time.
Right.
There is the equipment that is needed. There's the medication.
That's right.
That's also essential. And similarly, the trained staff. So let's talk about how we go from this point forward with the infrastructure now available through this donation, how the center will function.
Okay, so the Belize Cancer Society is it's a gift. The center is there, and it is solely operationalized by the Belize Cancer Center Dangriga, Dr. Grant and CEO Nurse Delone Pascasio and her team.
Yes.
And so all the licensure of nurses, whoever worked it comes through them. Whoever worked, everything will be done by them. The BCS is supportive, administrative, and so on. But that big operation is the big chief right there on the screen.
All right. So Delone, you are cloning yourself like you want to clone Heather, you and Dr. Grant. Is that what's happening?
Oh, I refuse to answer that question.
Oh, man.
No, actually, what we're trying to do is operate efficiently in both areas. The Cancer Center Belize will be operating 3 days a week initially. We have identified and we're actually worked with the CNO for the Ministry of Health to provide us with nursing support, because most of the centers really here and elsewhere are nurse driven. So Nurse Obi will be our principal clinical nurse in charge at the center in Belize City. She is actually she's coming to us by contract, compliments of and supported by the Ministry of Health.
Yes.
The medication and the overall administration of the center will be done also through Belize Cancer Center Dangriga, primarily by myself And of course, Dr. Grant is the medical director and will be the medical director at the satellite site as well. We expect that our patients, many of the patients coming from the north, and of course, you know, they have options. If they choose to come to get care at the center in Belize, they will be coming on the designated days. And I think we're still to designate those days, but it'll be 3 days a week.
Okay.
Yeah.
And in the referral system as well, I know there's consultation that takes place usually with Dr. Grant that would be accessible at the Belize City Center as well?
Yes, it will be.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, we have set up some consultations for him on Thursday or tomorrow.
Okay.
So he should be seeing patients tomorrow in consult.
I am not the least bit surprised by that. That he comes to Belize for the opening and sees patients instead. I am not surprised by that.
They
Yeah.
work full time when
Yes.
he's here. It's a big clinic, huge clinic.
Yeah. So
Yes.
Let me just get Maria in here, because I think this overall model, when we look at Dangriga and now Belize, is such a great model of how Belizeans can support the country. You know, Delone and Dr. Grant, while maybe people don't remember, they were living outside of Belize and decided to turn their family home into a cancer treatment center and travel back and forth. Here you are working in providing aid outside of the country, but then looked right within and then found other Belizeans to be able to support. Let's just talk about the magnitude of that, where we know there's great need all around, but sometimes collaborating together can really get us to where we need to go.
Absolutely. And I think that this is only the beginning of where Belizeans can actually contribute. But sometimes you want to, but you don't know how to. And even in our case, we were looking and we wanted, but we didn't know where to start until I spoke to Laura. And the fact that our core business is the supply of catastrophic medicines, it was an easy step to take to say that Belize should have a state-of-the-art infusion suite like the one in Dangriga, and that it should encompass the entire country. So I think from there, Laura is also in discussions with radiation therapy. And one of the things that really inspired me was the fact that they included nutrition in their treatment of cancer patients. You know, my sister-in-law is a recipient of the Dangriga Cancer Center, and she has been in remission for 6 years. She had stage 3, I think, breast cancer. But they put her on a strict nutritional schedule. I think it was Delone that did that. And she followed it to the T, along with all of the other, you know, so-called home remedies like soursop leaf tea and that kind of thing. But it's been 6 years that she's been in remission.
wow.
And these are the successes that very few people hear about. You hear about the sad stories, but the real successes need to be brought out too, and they need to look at it holistically.
Indeed.
Laura, if we could just maybe press a bit further, because I know the Cancer Society has worked very hard in educating about healthy lifestyle and screening. And I recall, you know, previous conversations where there was this heartbreaking situation where screening would take place, someone would be diagnosed or need further diagnosis, and then, you know, you can refer them to Dangriga if they can get treatment there. How does this now assist that when people go in or get screening done, that they have an immediate place to turn for treatment?
I think it's a plus for them to know that the center is there, and perhaps to utilize the facility a little bit more, and so that they don't fall through the cracks. Quite often, patients are referred, but referred for treatment abroad, and that we really need to bring that under control. Yes, you have some patients do need referral abroad,
Yeah.
but we need to be sure that you can use your local facilities and exhaust those treatment options here
Yeah.
before you think about traveling abroad. Cancer care is catastrophic, and what is important is timeliness, and so and reassurance. And so what we have done over the years is build that kind of system into our offerings and services at the Cancer Society. And our thing is with the infusion suite there now, people will become more aware that we have been involved in patient navigation to the Belize Cancer Center in Dangria for a number of years.
Yeah.
But quite often, our patients fail to follow through on the referral system because it gets lost in translation.
Yeah.
And so what we've been saying is, come to us, we'll help you sort it out, and then so you can move on so that you don't lose time.
Yeah.
So, and I think I wanted to also piggyback on something that Maria said about people. We have to remember that cancer care, we have a human right to cancer care.
Yeah.
And what we are doing here is an amazing model of all of society, because that's a World Health mandate. It requires, the cancer care requires all of society to participate because it is so complicated.
Yeah.
And so we have, this is a perfect mix, and I think it's a good model
Yeah.
for other donors to come forward and support and
Indeed.
build.
Yeah.
And we have dreams to the Cancer Society. I mean, we're beginning next year, we're already lobbying for funds. We want to put in an occupational therapy center and perhaps a laboratory
Yeah.
for those special tests that are still being sent abroad.
Yeah.
We have all kinds of dreams. But in any event, it is the opportunity for collaboration exists, and I think that it is something that we're very proud of today.
Indeed. Yeah, but what today and tomorrow marks is that dreams do come true.
Oh, yes.
But together, it takes togetherness. And we know that time is dwindling.
Will
We're
you,
getting
will
the
you
signs.
treat
But
pediatric cases here as well?
I'll have Delone mention
Yeah,
it
sure.
because that's what we do. Go
Okay.
ahead, Delone.
Yes, we will. We're seeing a number of pediatric cases now,
Okay.
and more involved with their care right now because COVID had prevented us from navigating the patient across the border. So we've assumed much of the care. The patient will continue to be seen, particularly when they come up for intrathecal therapy.
Okay.
That at Dr. Gable's specialty clinic. And so pediatric patients will continue to be navigated through BCS and the nurse navigator to those centers of care that can best provide that treatment for them.
Right.
And what do we do tomorrow to celebrate this this added success?
Yeah. So tomorrow morning we have a nice ribbon cutting ceremony and a tour of the
And the blessing has to happen too,
and
right?
of course,
Yes.
always
Of course.
we have our little ceremony.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
a few speeches. Dr. Grant will certainly be our keynote speaker, and we have our chief nurse joining us to cut the ribbon tomorrow. So we're it's all good. Yes.
I would like to say one way that the Belize Cancer Center can find its own independence and resource is because it is such a state of the art that there are patients who have insurance and who would probably be more comfortable getting their chemo here in Belize.
Yeah.
And those patients could provide the resources for those
Absolutely.
that can't pay.
Exactly.
So there is a huge opportunity for the major insurance companies to direct their patients first, in the case of chemo, to the Belize Cancer Center.
So
Wow.
clearly, it's a shared philosophy again.
Indeed.
And in terms of making sure that everybody walks in for treatment, we find a way to make sure that they receive that treatment. And so it's a shared philosophy, which is fundamental to what we have done.
This is definitely a warm feel to know that help is actually right around the corner. So thank you guys so very much, and we do wish additional or added success to the Belize Cancer
you.
Center and Belize Cancer Society. Thank you guys for joining
you.
us this
Thank you
morning.
very much.
And here's to wishing you all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity.
All right. We're about to take our final break of the morning. When we come back, we'll be wrapping things up. Stay with us. We'll be right back.